Now it all depends. I have kids at that point, and it makes sense to help them grow their social media as well, because I'm like, social media is something that can be sustaining and beneficial in a lot of ways, right? And so if I can use my platform to help grow my child's platform, I would do that for them. And then when they get to a point where they want to decide if they want to use it or not, they can make that decision. But because I know some people will say like, oh, don't put your kids on social media. And, I think everyone has their own preferences and thoughts, and no one is right, no one is wrong. It just goes for what works for you. But I do think if I have the capacity to pass some influence onto my child as they grow up and see if that is a benefit for them when they become capable of really accessing that power and influence themselves, I will do it. And then if they choose not to, whatever, they can move on from it. But yeah, I think in 5 to 10 years from now, I would limit my usage unless my usage could mean helping my child build a platform for themselves that can help them secure some savings or money or opportunities when they're at the right time.
Sounds like you've put a lot of thought into that. What does that look like? Are you setting up accounts for them and kind of posting as them, or are you thinking you'll post about them and then eventually they will create their own accounts? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, the elephant in the room in social media is like, I think in just about everything, it's really important to be cognizant of who and what you're doing it for. When it comes to social media, if you are bringing your kids onto it, if it's for yourself, then you're doing the wrong thing, right? And I think you can trace it back to just about any level at which kids have the ability to make money. You hear about all these Disney and Nickelodeon kids whose parents made tons of money and then, wasted it all or in some way kept them captive so that they could have access to it. And that's one of the harshest things you can do to somebody. I hate the thought of exploitation. But when it comes to being able to use social media as a platform to benefit my child, like the hope is I'll set up an account for them. I'll post them, right? Like my cute little kid, through having a platform and sharing access to that, hopefully they get deals and opportunities, like whether it's diapers, whether it's baby kid clothes, whatever the case may be. Hopefully the goal is to store all of that money for them, like, put that in a place where they'll have access to it. Like this is before you could even understand you were working hard, and when you get of age and you want to leverage that whichever way you want to, it's yours. So I think it's really important that if you are doing something like this, especially putting your kid out into the world, that you have the right beliefs and the right kind of like thought process behind it and the right motives, that what you are doing are for that child. Because if you're putting that child's face all over the internet and what you're doing is really for you and, your new car or your new house or whatever the case may be, I don't think that that's fair to the child. So that's my thought behind it.